That's right, you're the special guest. Engage in the conversation in the comment section below. Remember, be kind and be respectful. Now, what are we going to be talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're talking about family, life, we're talking about lifestyle, church life, and everything in between. So thanks for joining us. Can't wait to get started. With that being said, let's talk. Hey everybody, welcome to the Let's Talk podcast live on Facebook. I'm your host, Jackmael Calderon, and you are the special guest. That's right, you're the special guest. Engage in the conversation in the comment section below. Remember, be kind and be respectful. Now, what are we going to be talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're talking about family, life, we're talking about lifestyle, church life, and everything in between. So thanks for joining us. Can't wait to get started. With that being said, let's talk. Hey everybody, welcome to the Let's Talk podcast live on Facebook. I'm your host, Jackmael Calderon, and you are the special guest. That's right, you're the special guest. Engage in the conversation in the comment section below. Remember, be kind and be respectful. Now, what are we going to be talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're talking about family, life, we're talking about lifestyle, church life, and everything in between. So thanks for joining us. Can't wait to get started. With that being said, let's talk. Hey everybody, welcome to the Let's Talk podcast live on Facebook. I'm your host, Jackmael Calderon, and you are the special guest. That's right, you're the special guest. Engage in the conversation in the comment section below. Remember, be kind and be respectful. Now, what are we going to be talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're talking about family, life, we're talking about lifestyle, church life, and everything in between. So thanks for joining us. Can't wait to get started. With that being said, let's talk. Hey everybody, welcome to the Let's Talk podcast live on Facebook. I'm your host, Jackmael Calderon, and you are the special guest. That's right, you're the special guest. Engage in the conversation in the comment section below. Remember, be kind and be respectful. Now, what are we going to be talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're talking about family, life, we're talking about lifestyle, church life, and everything in between. So thanks for joining us. Can't wait to get started. With that being said, let's talk. Hey everybody, welcome to the Let's Talk podcast live on Facebook. I'm your host, Jackmael Calderon, and you are the special guest. That's right, you're the special guest. Engage in the conversation in the comment section below. Remember, be kind and be respectful. Now, what are we going to be talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're talking about family, life, we're talking about lifestyle, church life, and everything in between. So thanks for joining us. Can't wait to get started. With that being said, let's talk. Hey everybody, welcome to the Let's Talk podcast live on Facebook. I'm your host, Jackmael Calderon, and you are the special guest. That's right, you're the special guest. Engage in the conversation in the comment section below. Remember, be kind and be respectful. Now, what are we going to be talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're talking about family, life, we're talking about lifestyle, church life, and everything in between. So thanks for joining us. Can't wait to get started. With that being said, let's talk. Hey everybody, welcome to the Let's Talk podcast live on Facebook. I'm your host, Jackmael Calderon, and you are the special guest. That's right, you're the special guest. Engage in the conversation in the comment section below. Remember, be kind and be respectful. Now, what are we going to be talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're talking about family, life, we're talking about lifestyle, church life, and everything in between. So thanks for joining us. Can't wait to get started. With that being said, let's talk. Hey everybody, welcome to the Let's Talk podcast live on Facebook. I'm your host, Jackmael Calderon, and you are the special guest. That's right, you're the special guest. Engage in the conversation in the comment section below. Remember, be kind and be respectful. Hey, God bless. Welcome to the Let's Talk live podcast here on Facebook. I am clapping because I'm applauding you as you come in, as you're seeing this live stream coming up on YouTube or on Facebook, wherever you're at. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for being here. If you're watching this later on, that's okay. But make sure next time you join in live, we try to go on Mondays around 8 p.m. Central Time. And so you can comment live. And this is again, interacting with your comments, interacting with it's conversation is what it is. It's conversation online, and we have that means and the blessing to be able to do it now with a growing family, and we want you to be part of that growing family. So if you haven't liked and subscribed, go ahead and like and subscribe. We love what we're doing, especially because we know that it's edifying. At least we've heard great encouragement from you guys, and thank you so much for all that feedback that you guys give us, that encouragement, and we're glad that you're enjoying it. We're glad that you're having a great time. We're having a great time doing it. So glad to be here. Hopefully, like I said, you're having a great day. Let me know. How's your day going? What's up? Leave a God bless, leave a comment, leave, hey, watching from home. Hopefully you're at home resting or having, your meal. I don't know what it is that you're doing exactly, but thank you for joining in. Just let us know. Leave a comment right there. You can see them, and we'll read them. Always remember, be respectful and be kind. So today, before we kind of get into our topic, I always like to recap a little bit of what we talked about last week, and it kind of pertains a little bit to what we were engaging in this weekend as we were traveling to Detroit, Michigan, not too long ago. We had a great time over there in Detroit, Michigan. Had a great experience in La Iglesia La Bendición with Pastor Reynaldo. And we actually got to spend 2 nights, one night of Vigilia with them. And then the following Sunday, we got to share also there as well with the brothers and sisters. And we had a tremendous blessing. And the topic that we actually talked about was something that we covered here the last time we did our Let's Talk was about discouragement and how to overcome discouragement, which is something we all go through. And I went through the whole thing, where, sometimes discouragement can rob you from your energy, rob you from time, rob you from progress, and ultimately stop your faith. Hey, God bless you, watching from Florida. Oh, from Florida. Awesome. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you so much for tuning in all the way from Florida. Hopefully sometime. I was there not too long ago, actually, in Pensacola. And then we went up to Pascagoula, which is actually Mississippi, which I didn't realize how close Mississippi was close to Florida. I guess I was really down south over there by Florida. Had a great time. Weather was super hot. It was great though. Had a amazing time over there with the young people. So God has given us that privilege to travel and to be able to speak His word and encourage people through His word, and to ultimately bring people to Jesus. And that's been a calling that we've had over our lives, and that we continue to pursue and that we love. I just saw a quote today that really inspired me, and it's by a mentor or a friend, Roberto Lugo. He said, he carried my sins, so I carry his word, which I thought was an amazing quote. And that's what we're doing. So to go back, thank you for joining in. Who else is in here? God bless. Thank you for supporting so much. Thank you. Just you being here and tuning in and having a conversation with us means a lot to us. I know that everybody has some great insight, especially into this topic that we're going to get into in just a little bit. And I'm going to introduce a special guest right now. So thank you so much, Yolanda, for tuning in. And I can't wait to hear some points that you got or what you want to share today. Anybody who's on here who wants to, feel free to comment, leave that comment. We'll be reading those. We'll be going over them, interacting with your comments. And we were in Detroit, Michigan, and we had a great time talking about this, how to overcome discouragement, how to build your confidence, how to build your faith ultimately, and how every one of those things is ultimately every process that we go through, whether suffering or whether trials or tribulations, or you're waiting on God's promise, or you're waiting on something, is ultimately there to build. And it works for your good to build you up. But I think the one thing that I'll just highlight, and then we'll move on, is this anecdote that came to mind. Like, discouraging thoughts can come to our minds like birds flying over our heads, right? We can't avoid, you can't stop that from happening. These birds fly over our heads, and there's nothing you can do. Discouraging voices or words can come to our minds when in tough times and debilitating times, suffering times, and there's nothing that we can do to avoid it. But what we can avoid is having them nest or create a nest in our mind, or create a home in our heads, And so that's where I feel like the Word of God is very important. The people that we talk to and that the people that we share with, that we find refuge in is important too. And so, yeah. So I think it was a great time. People were ministered, and his word, I know it reached my heart. I know it came in a very important time in my life, this word. And so we're taking steps. I know I was going to share some important news last week of what's going to happen next in our chapter in ministry and life. So I'll be sharing that at the end. So stay tuned. You'll get to hear it firsthand from here. So yeah, stay tuned. All right. So without further ado, I have the honor and the privilege to have with me somebody you guys have heard of, and right now she's literally in physical pain. But the reason being, and I'll now let her, and this is why she kind of wasn't with us last week, and she's here now with us, and she actually went on the trip to Detroit, Michigan like this, and God used her while she was out there ministering to people too as well, and she's gracious enough to be here with us now, and then yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the lines. Call me now. Nobody knows what that's about. Does anybody know what that's from? Anyways, without further ado, nuestra hermana y sierva, Arlena Calderon.
God bless you, everybody. God bless everyone that is out there listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting.
Yes.
Yes. I am, once again, I am here against my will.
You're not against your will.
Send help.
No, stop. You better stop. People take that stuff serious.
Just kidding.
Yes,
just kidding.
Please, just kidding.
Do not send help.
Do not send help.
Send money.
Send tacos. Send money. Send something.
Una ofrenda.
Send stars is what. The Facebook now got me, like, all of a sudden it changed my profile for me because now I'm like a creator, I guess.
Míralo.
So yeah, right. So now it's like, now you can have people send stars. And then I looked up how much is a star. It's 1 cent.
Hey, you
so
know
1
what?
cent. So if somebody sends 100 stars, it's $1.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's even an option there to send stars or not. I don't even know. I'm not.
No, a mí no me manden estrellas. A mí mándenme mi Cash App, mi Zelles. Put it on there.
We're not there yet. No.
Hook it on with the graphics.
We ain't made it there yet.
All right, disclaimer, my people. God bless you all, and know that I kid and I josh and I have a good time and a good sense of humor. But today I am even currently in a better sense of humor. I just went to go get my meds.
Oh no. Okay, let's stop here. Let's stop because we got to give context to what's happening. So you just don't start there and then work your way.
She's on her meds.
No, you don't start there. Yeah. So what happened was, when was this?
Tuesday.
This past Tuesday.
So the day of your podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
The exact same day. So that Tuesday,
I was
at
hit.
A red light and going. Hold on, let me.
I'm not a red light.
You were at a red light at the ramp.
Well, yeah, on the ramp, not on like a light. Okay, so here, so guys, although, I was in Chicago coming home, minded my business, being a lawful abiding citizen, following the law to its letter. The Old Testament people would have been proud of me.
Okay.
And, some young lady came down the ramp, allegedly. She said she lost her brakes. They went out, according to her. I don't know. I'm not a mechanic, nor am I. Yeah. I don't know. She rammed into the car behind me. I was at a full stop, and that car then jolted.
Stop. You see, you missed a piece because there's a car in the middle between you and her.
Oh yes, it wasn't head on. It was 3 cars.
Yes.
I was in the front, minding my business.
Yes.
And then the young lady coming down full speed, and the poor guy in the middle. So prayers for him. I remind in your thoughts today, please remember him and just pray that he's well, because he got the brunt of it. Everybody's alive.
Everybody's fine.
But we are all bruised.
His car was done.
Hers was totaled for sure.
And hers, and then
he could drive it home, but he was
yours was, or ours was just like a little bumper. But they still have to check it. But everything just to say, She's here now. I didn't
Exactly.
told her, you better
Like,
find
no, see,
those
okay,
rights.
this is how I know I'm in my señora era.
Okay.
Because God bless you, Juan. Happy belated
What's up,
birthday,
Manny?
Jack Mael. Oh, look, Juan is there.
Oh, thank you, Juan.
Yeah, no, but this is how I know I'm blah, blah, blah. The meds, guys, the meds.
Stop that right
You are lucky I'm not saying it what I normally call it. But anyways, no, she was very distraught, this little girl. I want to say she was like maybe 18, 19. She was very distraught. Her passengers were like in shock because they didn't know what to do. Like, they weren't even calming her down. She's just like crying, walking back and forth. The gentleman behind me and I, we're a little bit older. We've been in a car accident both. So we kind of were like, are you good? I'm good. Insurance, call cops. We knew the drill. She's over there kind of a little hysterical. And finally, like after a minute, I walked over and I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, yes, I'm so sorry, and this and that. I'm like, you have insurance? Yeah, that's okay. We're all good. Yeah. We're all good.
Yeah.
We're all good. That's fine. And, and she hugged me, and I was like, there.
Pat, pat.
Pat, pat. Because you know what? It's okay. If everybody has insurance, then we can all just...
Yeah. So she's been again. We traveled all the way to Michigan, and the aches and pains don't come till a little bit later.
Oh,
and
my Lord!
She's been feeling them a little bit later.
And that's another reason I know I'm in my señora age, my señora era. Because like when I was 20,
who gets hit by a,
no. When I was 20, it hurt. But like now I'm like, I can't hear out of my left foot. And they're like, what? Exactly.
I can't hear out of my left foot. All right, guys. Well, here with that segue, glad you're okay. See, Dee
I'm alive.
You're okay.
I'm alive. Thank you, Dee Dee. Keep me in prayer.
And thank you, Juan, for the happy birthday shout out. We got Manny all the way from Florida. What's up, Manny? God bless. Thank you for tuning in.
And share this out, guys. Share this out on YouTube. Share this out on Facebook. Share the word.
Share the word.
Share the word.
Share the word. All right, so we're talking about friendship stages is what we're talking about now. You want to read our intro for us? All right, I got you. So have you ever wondered why some friendships last and others fade? Or why some people seem to walk with us through everything while others are only there for a moment? So friendship stages is what we're talking about right now. So, I have friends that I can think of from way back when I was a kid. And I can think about friends that I had somewhat in school, high school. Maybe some in grade school. I don't know if you ever got to hang out with kids from your grade school, even high school, middle school.
A little bit.
Not really. I don't think I ever. And then I got, friends from church when I started going to church. And that's a whole thing there.
That's a whole
nother story there.
Well, I mean, that's part of it. That's the thing. It can't be separate. I think once we start separating things completely from church friends and not church friends.
Yeah.
I think that becomes also an issue.
Well, I think that was like later on. I realized, there should be a difference between church friends and people, that don't necessarily, go to church or believe in the same things that you believe, which is ultimately what we're saying when we say church friends. Is we're meaning people that believe in the same things that you believe, that value the same things that you value, and that are in the same walk as you're in.
Correct.
So then I can think about those. I can think about now that when I was a leader in a heck, that stage of my life, in early adulthood, traveling and starting ministry. I can think about friends there, and some of them have made it through to this stage. We're now married man and a father.
At this point, my only friends are Jesus and you.
You need to stop. This is live. Like, what are you forgetting something?
I'm on meds, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, you need to stop that right now. Like, legit. So here we are. So we're talking about friendships and its stages and it's different. And there, even though you grow as a person, as an individual, you grow in every single stage or seasons, if you would. You grow in seasons, but I think friendships are important, and they have spiritual implications to our lives. They can help us grow. They can help us, emotionally grow, spiritually grow. But I think that ultimately, grow in character.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to be talking about a little bit of that, maybe going a little bit, diving into, some of our personal friendships, or maybe moments and times that, we had to grow in certain areas with our friends, or to be able to keep them and cultivate them.
Yeah, no, a lot of my childhood friendships, well, they're in Texas, but a lot of them I still remember fondly. There's a couple that are still with me, that walk in life with me. Edna's still with me. I've known her since middle school. We're not as present as we would like to be, but we're always just a call away. There's a couple of people that walk with you throughout life, and it's important to have them. And I think through church and serving, it builds a camaraderie, like una unión, like in the struggles and in the blessings, and then those inner jokes and those lived experience that nobody else can understand because they weren't there.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a part of it all. And as we grow, life takes different stages. Some people get married, some people move away, some people have different jobs, and just things don't always stay like they are in middle school or high school or college. And that's where we have to kind of learn to ride the wave of when to let go, when to be there, and when to just continue to pour into these friendships so that they can maintain themselves, because that's another thing. Like any other relationship, it's called a friendship because it's a relationship as well. So there's some things that you do have to put in effort, and then at some point you have to say, how do I grow it, or how do I let it go with grace? We'll see.
Yeah, that's good. How do I grow it, or how do I let it go with grace? So, I mean, what's a friendship that's changed you? What's a friendship that has changed you? I'll start with that question, and feel free, guys, to answer a friendship that has changed you, to help change you. I mean, I think, man, I think that it's those early teen, friendships, that 13, 14, 15, 16.
I have a friendship like that.
Evelyn
is one of the people that has been with me through my whole life, and
I admired her because she was working in AHEC. She was serving. She was being, a role model through AHEC and all these things. And she took me under her wing, because she had to travel, and Texas is huge. So you're driving, minimum 3-4 hours, and maximum the whole state of Texas. But she, we clicked, and she's like, hey, would you like to go? And my parents are strict. My parents are super, super strict. They wouldn't let me go to the corner. Like, no, you don't need to go anywhere. Stay right here. But
I think that saying makes more sense in Spanish than it does in English. But I get what you mean. We ain't sending people to corners.
I say things.
They're like, you don't let me go to the corner. Well,
no me dejaba ir a la esquina. No me dejaba salir, ir a ningún lado.
Yeah.
Pero gracias a Dios que el carácter de Evelyn y su testimonio y todo lo que ella representaba le daban esa paz a mis papás de darme permiso de poder viajar con ella. Y a través de eso yo pude aprender a servir, yo pude aprender a ver cómo ella se desenvolvía, yo pude aprender también a cómo trabajar en AHEC. And, ultimately when you're working in AHEC and you're around people who work in AHEC, you end up being drafted to be, non-paid interns to help. Because it's like if you're in it, then people alongside you come with you. And thankfully through that, I want to say that I learned a lot of that through that. And I still have her with me. So that's always, and that's a friendship that, thank God, to this day I still have and I cherish dearly. Yeah. But it made an impact in my life.
Yeah. And so while you're talking about that, I also start thinking about my personal relationships and friendships. And I'll probably go a little bit deeper into love that, how to let go with grace. Super important. Yeah, that is super important. Hey, by the way, guys, if there's a clippable moment in any of this, please let us know. Just put like clip, that way we know what to cut and what to put. It makes it so much easier. So if you found something super interesting that we said, for example, what Yolanda just so gracefully let us know, like love that, how to let go with grace. super important. So yeah, just put clip. Yeah, that will help us out a lot. So there is, relationships that we can think of that come to mind. I'm not. I'm wary on sharing names because I don't want anybody else to feel left out. So,
don't share names. You don't share names.
Yeah,
I can't share names.
Yeah, well, sure, go ahead.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people, but these are people that have been.
Well, yeah.
That are examples to those things.
Yeah, but cautiously, the people when they hear this, if they watch this, they're gonna know who they are.
Y'all know I love all y'all. Yeah. Y'all don't even start with me.
Says the person that says my only friends is Jesus and you, Jack.
I'm on meds. All right, I cannot be held responsible for these things.
Okay, there we go again. Anyways, here we go. So when I think about friendships, I think about them in my teen years, and when I started going to church, I'm this social guy that likes to talk a lot. But I think when I was early, no, you don't say. No way. Says the guy who has a podcast and talks to himself for a majority of the time. No, but yeah. So I had glasses. I was nerdy looking, back in the. I've grown into my
your beautiful butterfly.
My dad bought to my beautiful butterfly stage.
Yes.
But I was getting to know, you get to know your likes and your dislikes, and as you get to discover who you are as a person, and then getting into friendships, you kind of discover a little bit more of those things, likes and dislikes, and those people that test your boundaries and test your limits, and the ones that tell you your parents don't let you do that. Yeah, no, my parents don't let me do that. Your parents don't let you do this or do that. No, I can't do that. And so, like those, I can remember those things. Like
I think about that. I think about my middle school stage and my high school stage.
They opened a whole other world to you.
They did. They really did, because I lived a very sheltered life. It was very bubble.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of things because I went to public school, right? Yeah. But and I had TV school and all these things, but yeah, I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I wasn't, I may be putting my parents on blast, but that's the truth. Like, I was very pretty much, strict parents.
We gotta put warning down here. Hey, warning.
I know. It's the truth. That's my truth.
So these people that come into our lives open a whole new other world for us, which we have to navigate on our own, in the sense of our parents are not watching, but there is somebody who's watching, and that's God who's watching. And I believe God has his hand on those areas of our lives too, but we ultimately make decisions. It gives us that free will, whether to build this, to move away from this, or to grow from this. And so I think it's important to cultivate certain friendships that are definitely going to help you grow, to get closer to him, to get to know him, that are also going to help shape you too as well as an individual in the right areas.
Friendships are gifts. At the end of the day, I think a good friendship is a gift, even if it's a seasonal or momentary or for a moment. Like, these friendships are gifts because they not only provide you sometimes with great memories, but they also could be people that you can really count on in those low parts of life. Like, sometimes you need someone to pray for you. Sometimes you need someone to battle for you. I mean, the Bible says that man that was brought into that house that couldn't walk, that was like his friends tore a hole in a roof of a house, and he was healed by the faith of his friends. That's the power of friendship. Like, those are the types of friends I want to go to battle for me. When I can't go, I need to make sure that I have those people that are going to do that for me, which, thank God, I do have those people.
I feel like that can apply to you right now.
I need y'all to go to battle for me. I need y'all to...
Somebody to carry me right now.
Carry me, people. My back, my hip.
Right now. Well, check out what Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 to 10 says. And this is obviously found in the Bible, book of Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 to 10. Check this out. So this is in regards to saying, that gift or friendships are gifts. The camera seems to be going in and out, guys, but hopefully the audio stays. So sorry about that. So here we go. 2 people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Likewise, check this out. This is verse 11. I'm going to go a little bit farther. Likewise, 2 people lying close together can keep each other warm. But how can one be warm alone? A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but two can stand back to back and conquer. Three are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken.
Yeah.
So check that out.
So
right.
the Lord wants us to form gangs.
Gangs of friendship.
In Him.
Friendships. Gangs. I don't even know how to redeem that. I don't even know how to redeem that. You guys help me. How can I redeem it? God bless your brother and your family. God is good. God bless your brother Hector. God bless you. How do I redeem that? I mean, some people go as far.
Discipleship.
Okay, check this out. All right, no, you know what? I got it. I got this, guys. I got this. So, what makes the difference between a worldly versus godly friendship? Okay, so what's the difference between a worldly versus a godly friendship? What are your thoughts? What's a worldly friendship and what's a godly friendship?
For me, I mean, people put your comments in. Write your comments in.
Yeah.
¿Qué es la diferencia entre una amistad que es cristiana y cristocéntrica y una amistad que es pues creo que ve mi mano. Well, I mean, first of all, I think for me is a Christian or Christ-like friendship is gonna bring me closer to Christ. Is always gonna take me towards the light.
Godly.
You can still have your humor, and I mean, if you know me and you're my friend, you know that I have a particular sense of humor, but that's okay because Jesus loves me anyway.
Okay.
Right.
Example of what we've been hearing. Mm-hmm.
But that's how He made me.
Okay. Yeah.
And there are other people that He also made with this kind of humor.
You guys are out there.
Some people would say dark. I would just say well-rounded.
Well-rounded. That's good.
And you click with those people, and that's not the only factor into a friendship.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it goes back to what brings me closer to Christ. Worldly friendships, those are the people who taught me how to do things that I'm not going to self-incriminate, right? Because I plead the fifth. But did they have great memories?
Yeah.
Yes. Is it a teachable lesson? Yes.
Let me ask Regal this question right now.
Ooh.
Regal, what's the difference between a godly friendship and a worldly friendship? What's your take? Hector, if you're still there, same question. What's the difference between a godly relationship or friendship versus a worldly one? So.
And you know what? And real quick, I just want to put this here. There have been in my life times where people who haven't been Christian, and I'm putting air quotes right now.
Yeah.
Who have loved on me, blessed me, and defended me.
Better
or equal as some of my Christian friends.
Okay.
So, but it always hasn't been the case. It's not the rule.
Benny said, "I'm here." Benny, what's up, Benny? Thank you for being here. All
Benny, God bless you, Benny. Say nothing. Say nothing. They're hearing.
They listen. Well, Benny, what's the difference between a godly relationship or friendship versus a worldly friendship?
Para los que no escuchan en español, ¿cuál es la diferencia entre una amistad que es cristocéntrica y una amistad mundana? Pero mundana se oye como que muy...
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Eliana, you with us out there? It said that Eliana was watching.
Eliana.
And BB. Hey, BB.
All right, guys. So what we're waiting to hear from y'all. We're more like brothers in Christ than normal world friends. Ooh, I like that. He's going a little bit deeper, which, we're definitely getting there too. Yeah. You guys can't see what Adriana is doing. And eventually, I don't know if I ever put it on camera.
No, you can't do that because, guys, I'm so sorry. Like, I know some of y'all want to see me, but you cannot see me because once you see it, you can't unsee it. I mean, some of the things I'm saying, pero.
La que dice la sabiduría de Dios is the difference. Hey, Abby, God bless you. La sabiduría de Dios is the difference, I think, is what Benny was saying. Right? La sabiduría de Dios is the difference.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was one thing that I was told and that I really kept and held on to when it came down to there's a difference between acquaintances, friendships, and then you got your like inner circle, right? And we'll get deeper into that as we continue on this podcast. We have a reference to go back to the Bible to keep each other in check, or on check and check, and hold each other accountable.
Ooh.
Good stuff.
Whoop. What? Yeah. Accountability where? What? Friendships aren't supposed to just stroke my ego. Say, girl, you got this, girl.
Yeah.
Queen. What?
In my personal experience, godly friendships have challenged my faith. All right. My current status. They ask the hard questions, not caring about my comfort, quote unquote, in general, have built my character to be more Christ-like. That's awesome. That is great. That's great stuff. Hello, everyone. I'm getting groceries, but I just started listening. What's up, Raul?
God
Thank
bless
you for being
Raul.
with us, man.
Raul is a friendship from high school.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, make sure you have that list from the wife, Raul.
Don't forget anything.
Don't forget nothing, bro. Text to talk ain't right.
No, but that's something that I appreciate in the levels of friendships, because I also think we can have acquaintances. I think we can have different, acquaintances. I mean, on Facebook, there's no issues, just FYI. Well, from the viewer perspective.
Oh, no, yeah. When it goes out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes out.
But I think the more we trust and build trust,
yeah,
and the more we build that kind of love for each other,
yeah,
into that brotherhood, because then you become family. It's like that friend family situation.
Yeah.
That por tu propio bien te tengo que dejar saber esto. Yo sé que a lo mejor no te va a gustar. Yo sé a lo mejor que te va a incomodar. Yo sé que a lo mejor you might even be mad at me for saying this, or vice versa, but it needs to be said, because that's what a good friend is. A good friend won't let you keep walking into a cliff.
I'm gonna give this to you right here. This is how you know whether this is a godly relationship or a worldly relationship. Check this out. All right. Well,
drum roll, please.
all right. So there's a difference to me, and maybe to you too. And you guys can tell me, between entertaining and being hospitable with somebody. Okay.
Explica.
Okay. Entertaining is just, first of all, we gotta make sure what exactly are they entertaining, and what desires or what vacancies, what are they exactly entertaining in their lives, and sometimes it's just transactional, in the sense of like I'm gonna do this, and then I expect you to give me something in return. Like, it's always
quid pro quo.
Yeah, expectancy.
I do this with the expectation that you're gonna do that.
Yes, and I feel like it is a very worldly kind of mentality of friendships that sometimes is just based off of superficial.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call that a friendship then. I would call that an acquaintanceship. I would call that a colleague, un colega, a friend from school. Yeah. Because I feel like friendships is deeper. And the deeper you go, the less transactional it becomes, and the more selfless it becomes. Yeah.
And that's the hospitable part. Where
as
I
it
cover
grows.
you no matter what, and I'll be there for you no matter what. And like our sister was saying here before, that it's a character changer. It's a character changer. All right, go ahead. You can read that, because I can't.
All right, it says, Brother Hector shares with us, a godly friend helps you grow closer to Christ, speaks truth in love, and walks with you in faith. A worldly friend may care deeply, but isn't focused on your spiritual growth. Sometimes it feels like worldly friends show up more than godly ones. That can hurt, but remember, godly friends are still human and may fall short. Don't confuse support with spiritual direction. Let God use both, but stay rooted in friendships that lead you closer to Him.
Yeah, and that's ultimately, the biggest difference is that they lead you to God and they make you more Christ-like. Awesome, brother.
But I love that point that he's making. It to the point that I made earlier, is that there have been some friends that are not Christian per se, that have been there the same, if not more, than some of my Christian friends.
Yeah.
However, at the end of the day, their overall lifestyle and their overall choices are not in the same path and direction as the ones that I am actively trying to do, which is get closer to Christ.
Yeah.
So, you know, I thank God for those friendships.
Yeah.
Because that tells me that these people have good characters and that have good hearts. But it also instills me and motivates me to be more Christ-like, so that they can continue to see, you know, Jesus in me, and so that that I may speak to them the gospel, whether it be through word or experience or my everyday life.
Yeah.
De dar ejemplo y testimonio de que Dios los ama. And hopefully they have interactions with people that are Christian, that are not their typical, you know, maybe bad references that they may have had at some given point.
Yeah. So everything you guys are saying, man, everything you guys are saying is right on. What do you think makes friendship godly? Is all that, you know, people hold you accountable, people who lead you closer to God, people who, you know, are going to tell you the truth in love, people who are going to...
And that's an important part that I think that makes a difference between a friendship and a family member. And I will say this, and I'll put myself out there, that because we're family no matter what, ride or die, pa siempre, right? Because, and I'm talking about most families that are within the parameters of healthy, normal families, not other extremes. You know, growing up, we could fight each other, be upset with each other, be angry, and then within that same day, we're playing around, tussling, having fun, laughing, right? And that's just family. But with friendships, you can't always just bounce back and forth with those things. However, friendships, when it gets to a level of that I love you as family, I'm willing to put our friendship to the test by setting up either boundaries or by telling you those uncomfortable things in love, to say, hey girl, hey my boy, let's check this out. And I think that that's an important thing that we need to do, and to be able to have in those growing friendships. I don't think you can always just come off the bat with someone you just maybe met and haven't built that relationship, that rapport, because they might take it as something else. But it's important to...
Yeah, you build to that.
Yeah.
You get to that. You build to that. Juan saying, my worldly friends are now my Christian friends because I was the light to them and showed them the way. That's awesome. And that's great. No, Papa, we're not done. No, we're not. We're not done speaking.
That's still... James, y'all.
That's our son. That's our middle son, James. We are doing a live podcast right now.
Go play with your friends.
Go play with your brother and your sister. Ahorita, ve pa la sala. Go. We're live. We're live on Facebook.
And we're parents. And that's a 5-year-old.
That is a 5-year-old saying, what are you guys doing? Are you still speaking? All right, so moving on here. What do you think makes... Okay, everything you guys are saying is super accurate. I'm getting some really good points now. And the fact that what Juan just shared right now, I kind of get what he's going at a little bit, because some of the things that I was told when I was younger, like in the sense of like, hey, you know, is it easier? They put somebody who is Christian, the whole, you know, don't be unequally yoked, you know, and that goes back to the, you know, the figure of two bulls plowing together, one stronger than the other, so the one's going up ahead and the one's being dragged behind, and that machine or the apparatus that goes on their back to keep them together, you know, is not going to work. So anyways, so I was always, you know, is it easier for you to pull them up, or is it easier for them to pull you down? Was what was one of the things I would say. But I feel like, if you're really anchored in the Lord and you have these friendships, you know what I'm saying, whether, you know, coworkers and acquaintances that are close, but you end up, because I have a friendship that started off like that, and it was through, I had a really close friendship with somebody, right? And we became like brothers, working together in a heck. And then his sibling was actually in the world. And then my very close friend, ended up moving on in stage in life, you know, getting married, having kids. But his brother and I started clicking a little bit more. And he came back to, you know, the Lord. but we started spending more time together in the summers and hanging out and talking about the word. And then he became a leader. He became a leader in Ahek, and he became and we developed a good friend. And I learned from him because he was much older. He had a business. He had his own home. He had his own, and I was learning a lot from him based off of that. And so if I would have kept that mentality, like,
yeah, but I think that's
like,
also a beautiful opportunity that the Lord presents us.
Exactly, that God sets you up for.
Yeah, because this, in the moment you may not see it, but because God sees everything, He can be like, hey.
Yeah, and again, my and we're still friends to this day, and we could talk a little about that, because he left, became a father, became a husband, became a father, and he had to, he couldn't build and spend time, with that same thing that we used to have before. And then alongside that, he moved away, but we kept in contact, in communication, and it was almost like, every time we would talk, it was like he, never left. And those are even you can see the ties are very deep, even with that.
Yeah,
too, as well.
Arlet, God bless you, Arlet. Thank you for joining in. We're talking about friendships, and right now we're talking about the different seasons, las etapas de la amistad que a veces uno pasa. Because you can have great friends, but life can get in, not the way, but life can move you in different directions.
And stages. Yep. And that's exactly what I'm kind of getting into now, with the different stages and how, this third part of this segment here is the levels of friendship that we find. And like you said, right now there's acquaintances, or acquaintances, fellowship, trusted friends, inner circle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Inner circle. See, my one of the things that I heard somebody say was like that they explained it in these kind of levels one time, that I was reading something or seeing something, probably more seeing something, but anywho, but they were talking about that. They were talking about how you cannot expect the loyalty and the love of an inner circle friend from an acquaintance. Like, sometimes we have expectations for different types of friendships, or that are in different stages. Y ahí es cuando nos lastimamos, and we hurt our own feelings because we valued, or we saw or thought this person was at this level, and they did not see the friendship at that level.
Yeah.
And so then that's where we have to maybe check our emotions on things and reevaluate, where we're at in wisdom and in grace, and not and not let the enemy get into our thoughts and poison what something could be good, because maybe in that season, in that time, and for that stage, that person was a blessing. But sometimes we want to hold on to it, or expect and have demands of a ride or die, and that's not it. Y nos lastimamos o nos separamos, and it's just like, oh, you didn't rise to the occasion. It's like, well, I was never meant to be part of that. That inner circle.
Hey guys, give me one brief moment. I'm gonna make sure everything's okay with this camera, so we'll be right back. Give me 1 second. So don't turn that dial. Don't turn that dial like it's an old TV analog. Don't press that button. We'll be right back. Give me just 1 second here to check this out. All right. Hopefully that fixed the problem. Thank you for staying with us. And again, thank you for your comments. That was a quick commercial break. No sponsorship yet. No sponsorship yet. But hopefully.
But we're open.
But we're open for sponsorships if anybody. You know. But yeah, thank you guys for your comments. I saw Juan commented not too long ago going to their wedding in Ohio. You remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
We went to their wedding in Ohio way back when. I saw Brother Casey there. Brother Casey, thank you for joining us. God bless you, man.
Yes, we got to hang out soon now that the summer's here with their babies.
Yes, their babies are growing so quick and their business is doing
Brother
good
Hector,
as
it
well.
says, and Lord willing, with us showing our fruits of the Spirit, we can bring the worldly friends to God to be godly friends. Yes. Saludos, mami. Gracias por estar entonizada desde Texas.
La suegra, bendiciones y lo bendiga mucho. Aquí estamos haciendo un podcast.
Una plática.
Una plática charla, de amistades.
Una conversación.
Los estados o las estaciones de
las amistades.
De las amistades. Bueno, so we're talking about acquaintanceships, trusted friends, inner circles, and you said you cannot expect an acquaintance, something you just freshly started, to have the same qualities and the same benefits.
Can an acquaintance jump into inner circle quick?
It depends. I think
it could.
It
could.
It depends on the person.
But I think it's a two-way street.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's, right. There's some people that I just meet right away and we're just cool. It's just,
yeah.
It's just, so the one that I remember that kind of goes with that, was in my AHEC years, when I first started into leadership. He legit just came up to me, hey, can you record? So I grabbed this camcorder and started recording them, because they were musicians. So I started recording them. And that just, from there, that interaction, that casual, just awkward interaction, like, I don't know this guy, he doesn't know me. He saw that I was there in the front, in the service, and he just gave me the camera, and I just pointed and recorded. And from there, it took off. And I didn't even remember how we started our friendship. And we're friends till this day now. I didn't even know how we started our friendship. But he did remember it. And then from there, it took off. I started playing music. I started being part of the worship team because of this person. I wasn't like one of the main ones. I played the congas. Nothing.
Yeah. No, but a biblical...
The congas are... Hey, anybody who plays the congas, I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying my skills weren't like up there, with some of the percussionists that we have now. But yeah, I just started because I was hanging out with them, and that I created more friends from there, because being part of the worship team, they're a really like knit tight group.
Yeah.
And they're kind of have an inner circle, and they received me. I was doing it again. Sorry guys, I apologize. But
it's fine on this
side.
side.
But so it really did put me in the loop with these awesome, talented young men.
And networks with other people. Yeah.
And yeah, I got to hang out with.
But one of the biblical examples that we have about these kind of levels is Jesus. In the crowd.
The 12.
He loved them all. Like, Jesus loved them all, right? Jesus loves the whole world.
Oh, yeah.
But when he was in the crowd, bunch of thousands of people clamoring for you, you love them all. But at the same time, you need some space, right? So then he goes with his boys.
Yeah.
His 12. They're chilling. They're doing life together. They're walking everywhere.
Yeah. Example, maybe, I don't know. Jesus had his 12 disciples, right? But Lazarus was a close friend.
Yep.
Like the Bible says he was a close friend.
Juan el Bautista, su primo.
Well, yeah, that's family. But Lazarus, I think, is a good example because he wasn't technically family, but a really close friend. And when he didn't show up in time, they're like, "Yo, isn't this guy like your?
Isn't this weird?
Isn't this like your close friend, and you didn't get here in time?" But there was a purpose for everything, of course, for those who know the biblical story about what happened. But yeah, Lazarus was a close friend of Jesus. So I wonder how that was. Would he go to Lazarus' house and share, "Hey, yo, Peter's been acting up."
I told him already, put that knife away.
Bro, like, I'm trying, dude. I'm like the son of God here, bro. And I'm telling these people, like, what's going on
Peter
with them.
Work my last nerve.
I wonder if that was he was a close friend. He spent time in their house.
What is it? Los hermanos, the ones that were like in the revolts. The revolutionary ones. Guys, what were the two disciples that were like...
The zealots?
Yes, those. Imagine being like, I keep telling them no, not like that.
Bro, I got to change their names, man. They're Sons of Thunder now, man.
Sons of Thunder, man.
They be thundering everywhere. Want me to call lightning from the sky or fire from the sky.
Cada rato quieren Quieren acabar con todo mundo.
Yeah, so I imagine Jesus interacting, because again, I imagine his character and his way of being. I'm pretty sure he was very, I don't know, but you know,
But
he had
even with the 12, then even in those 12, he had his like his boys, like his like these que se iban separando a veces, like cuando iban orando en el monte, like ustedes aquí, ustedes vengan conmigo, y luego yo solo allá con el Padre, like even then
he did have some special interactions within his inner circle with certain people that he didn't have with all of them, and he had some special interactions, special revelations that he had, which he loved everybody. You know, he loved all of them the same, but these particular ones, being Peter, James, and John, and
So I mean, this might be a hot take. I don't know if it will, but not everyone is meant to be close, and that's okay. Like, not everybody is meant to be your bestie. They can be just a good friend, a good acquaintance, a good brother in church or in life. And I think that that's something that we also have to learn, that we love everybody, we love on them, but not everybody is allowed access to all the parts of who you are, or some of the most intimate and important ones when you seek counsel, or when you're going through something really tough. And I think the Lord 100%. Allows us to have discernment, and to have love, and to have growth, and to, test and grow those friendships that do make it to the most inner parts.
Yeah. Casey left a comment there. Can you read that?
Casey wrote, "Something I learned here in Chicago. I needed to pray for those friends coming here knowing no one. You know what? When I pray about it, I was blessed right away." Josue put, "For a second there, I felt insulted." I don't know. Don't feel insulted, man. Jesus loves you.
Yes, he does. The disciples Jesus loved.
Yeah.
Not everybody is meant to be that inner circle. There's levels to this, guys. There is levels to it.
You can't. At least
and even in ministry.
And I was gonna say that
ministry gets even more.
It gets even harder. The circle. There's a meme that I love about the guy from Community.
Yeah.
And he's like, "This is the list of people who I trust," and it's like a tiny little. Unfortunately, as life's on, and the stages move on, those inner circle friendships. Yeah. I think if they're not maintained and cultivated through the times, the circle really does grow smaller.
Yeah.
And it gets harder because sometimes, again, if you throw ministry into the mix, not everybody will understand the struggles and the experiences, because from their lens, from their perspective, from their experience, they might think you're crazy for, what do you mean you're gonna lead a flock?
I think Jesus might have had friends outside of the disciples, Lazarus being an example of one of them. Maybe, did he have more? I mean, he spent 3 years of his ministry just focusing, the latter part of his 30s, so 33, 3 years, just pure ministry. So, I mean, all his time was invested with his disciples.
Maybe as he was growing up, that's when he clicked with Lazaro. That's a Bible. I think that's a God question when we get up there. Yeah. When we get to heaven, be like, "Lord, when did you meet Lazaro?"
Yeah.
I want to know the backstory to this.
Yeah, how did that happen? Were you guys playing some type of sport? Was it at the local I don't know, the local eatery?
Eliana writes, "Sometimes it takes trial and error to know who is inner circle." And I think this is a very important one, because it is trial and error.
How many trials?
You do put yourself out there, and you do get hurt sometimes by the trial and error, but it's also learning to forgive and move forward.
Sure.
And to leave these friendships in grace, so that you don't have any like bitterness or raíces de amargura or resentimiento, because sometimes you trust people with things that are your innermost thoughts and your innermost feelings.
Yeah.
And if they weren't inner circle, it could backfire. And so I think that's what she's trying to say with it takes trial and error. And forgiveness, because if it doesn't, it's like, you know what? Oh, not inner circle. Still a good person.
Yeah.
But just not inner circle.
Yeah. All right. I see that. I tried. I don't know if guy friendships and girl
Girl
friendships,
friendships are
the
different.
same thing.
Yeah, they're different. I feel like that's a whole different pod for a whole different
I
time.
feel like guys, you know, we're just
y'all are conga line people. Y'all are just like, here, record.
Yeah.
The best of friends.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't the best man at his wedding, but that's okay. You know, that's okay. I'm okay with that. You know who you are.
No, and for girls, I think it's a more interesting dynamic.
I'm joking, bro. I love you.
No, it's a more interesting dynamic because of that. Because there are so many little, like, almost like a minefield. And sometimes it's not that you intend for things to be a minefield, but until the trigger pops and goes off, you didn't know that was a thing. And then you have that, like, tienes que decidir, do I let this person know that this is hurting me or bothering me and let them know now? Or do I let it just go on and persist and then eventually, like, and that, it's harder, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's important in any relationship, whenever you're building a relationship, that you are healthy.
Yeah.
You know?
No, have you heard the comment where this is a little bit within this, but also out? It's how some people are way more honest with strangers and open than sometimes with people the closest to them.
Yeah.
And I've heard that, and I've kind of seen that. You know,
you're not gonna see this person again.
Yeah, so you like dump all this stuff on them, and then trauma dump and then move around. Otra vez con el trauma. El trauma lo tengo yo en la espalda.
Yeah. From the hip. So different. She put so different. Like, guy friendships versus girl
no, they're very different.
So different.
Yeah, stay tuned for Let's Talk Female.
If Arlena decides to do it, I'll just set it all up and boom, you guys can take off. All right, so inner friendships or inner circles, and I think the example that is really great is David and Jonathan, which is a crazy one because Jonathan, being the rightful successor to be king, realizes that, hey, David is the one that has the calling. I'm not going to be a hindrance. I'm going to be a stepping stone for him. I'm actually going to help him out, where I can actually betray him and I can turn him into my dad's hands and I can be the next one. And his ending is also very tragic too. Like Jonathan's ending is very tragic. But the friendship
Pero
that he
por
had,
amor a él, that David then redeems Mephibosheth.
Yeah, and David, because of the love that he had for Jonathan, ends up keeping his generation alive, and within the kingdom too as well.
At his table.
Yeah, and in the kingdom too as well. So friendships can have long-lasting implications, long-lasting, what's the word I'm looking for? Implications, long-lasting impact. Yeah, thank you. Long-lasting impact. So then, I mean, I can think about the people that are in my inner circle, people that have passed that trial in my book, and I've gone through their probably trial. Is it safe to say if they're in your inner circle, that you're in theirs?
Ooh, and I feel like that you're setting people up for emotional damage.
If they're in your inner circle, but are you in theirs? Like,
no, we want people que estén en paz, no que empiecen conflictos. Hey, am I in your circle? And be like, nah.
Is there a card that comes with it? Is there like a membership card that comes with, hey, you're part of my inner circle? Or is it just like a natural thing that you just know already? What's this comment say? But I would say when you're extroverted, it can be hard to accept, and having a huge... Oh, yeah, am I reading that right?
But I will say when you are extroverted, it can be hard to accept not having a huge inner circle.
Oh, I see what he's saying.
Yeah, that's not my case. I'm the Chinese list.
I'm the small list. I don't know what that was supposed to mean. From the community, the guy who plays the teacher or the Spanish teacher.
There's a meme. There's the meme
look
there.
For it. I can look for it.
No, but
meme of small list.
But honestly,
community.
Our closest of friends is Jesus. As cliche as that might sound, I feel like the question would be like, what would it look like to let Jesus be your closest friend?
Okay, guys, this is the meme that she's talking about. That one.
Yeah.
That's her inner circle list.
Yeah, that's my the babysitting list.
Babysitting list. Legit. People who can babysit. But yeah, so all right, moving on. So then
It's time.
Is there a membership card that comes with being part of somebody's inner circle? Do you know?
I think it's the trials and tribulations of life and just the joys of moving forward.
I built friendships, based off of the missionary trips that I had. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we went on a mission trip together, and we know each other from way back when, and we hung out, and we were in the trenches together in the missionary trips, and I have friendships that I've built throughout the years. Of course, right?
I have friendships that I can pick up where we last left off, even though it's been years, and then we know life happens, but the love is still there, and things happen. It's like, oh my goodness, how can I help? How can I be there for you?
And those people that you can deposit, you can trust. You can be your real self around, and I think that's the key about inner circle relationships is that you can be you. The people who really see you. Yeah. The people who really see you.
And if they see something that is not God-like, then they can love you enough to call you on it. I think that's the part of...
I think a lot of ministries would benefit. A lot of ministers would benefit from having real, true inner circle
it's hard.
relationships.
It's hard. The stereotypes, the image they have to protect, the persona they have to portray, makes it really hard to be vulnerable. Yeah. To be corrected.
Very fast to cancel you. Yeah. Very fast to put you on blast. Very fast to cancel you. What's the polarize? Is that a word? Polarize.
Polarize is cuando hay two views, like extreme views. Yeah. Or polarizing views. O sea que es.
Okay. Well, yeah, they push away. So yeah, it's a.
I think within our ministerial community, it becomes very hard to be open to being fragile, to being maybe that you need correction, but there's nowhere to go to seek that counsel and correction without it coming first with maybe shame or regaño or like, what do you mean X, Y, and Z? And then I think that's dangerous because then it leads people to continue to be in that weak state, only growing weaker in those things, opening themselves up to bigger hits. Whereas if they had the covering of those close friends where they could go to, then maybe they could be their support, their friends.
I've had those friendships where it's like they see them and they're like, oh, where's such and such, because they see you hanging out all the time together. And they're like, oh, we're such and such. And if it's the other way around,
can y'all hear us, guys?
They can hear us. It's just the for some reason the video camera keeps on going out. Looks like that's something else we're probably gonna have to. Anyways, So in the same way when Peter was trying to deny Jesus, they're like, yo, you sound like him, you walk like him, you talk like him. Like you end up hanging out so much, and you're so knitted together that you guys even share the same, likes, hobbies. Those are the things I think friendships can be built off of. Hobbies, likes, dislikes. I think those are the initial things, and then the inner circle stuff is as you're going in there, how real do they see you? Have they seen you in your lows? Have they seen you in your your highs? Do they, they say that the friendships that cut, they cut each other up, they make fun of each other in like really harsh ways are like the best ones because
when you talk about me and my friends,
they're the most honest ones. They're the most truthful ones. They just have to say that if they can cut each other up in a very like friends cutting up friends, in that sort of banter. We call it
roasting each other.
Yeah, roasting. There you go, roasting each other. Like those friendships are very deep because they're oftentimes not scared to share the truth with you.
Yeah, because if you do it also with a laugh, it doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Casey writes, that's a shame though because we're supposed to be there for one another as brothers and sisters, and if we can't be honest with each other when we struggle, who are we gonna be honest with?
Yeah.
So 100%. I think that's a very powerful statement, but our time is coming to an end, sir.
Yes, it is.
But one of these things that I do want to hopefully that we take away today is think about those people who are your friends and reach out to them and just say, hey, how you doing? odds are you probably already kind of talk to them, but make sure you reach out to them and let them know that they are, important. Pray over them and for them through it. And if there are some friendships that are seasonal or that are not in the right order or correct order or not bring you closer to Jesus, then pray for discernment on
how to gracefully
let go.
Bow out. Yeah, how to gracefully bow out. Which I can share a little bit. There was a point where I had to do that, and of course, is there a certain way to do it? I think there's really good ways on how to do that, and when it needs to be done, only you know. And I've had to do that. But then because I did that, and then I went into prayer and asking the Lord, and I was in the season of my life in that moment where God did need me by myself, and God did need me to kind of step away from the crowd, so to speak, and I needed to grow in relationship with Him even more. That God led me and taught me and showed me, and and there's ways I wish I could have handled it a little bit better. And how I, interacted or how I spoke.
We grow and we learn.
Yeah, and now as I'm older, father, and all this other stuff. But now those friendships are there, and they're there, and they're growing, and they're a part of my life, and I think it's super special. So I'm gonna end this. We're gonna end this with just some traits to highlight about godly friends. Number one is loyalty. I think loyalty is a big one. Loyalty is let me read Proverbs 17:17. A friend is always loyal, and a brother is born to help in time of need. So a friend is always loyal, and a brother is born in a time of need. Can you look up Proverbs 27 verse 6?
Proverbs 27.
Because loyalty, I think, is super important.
Proverbs 27:6, it says, "Wounds from a friend can be trusted."
And that goes into honesty.
Going back to what a lot of the people were saying, which they in discomfort, took them out of their discomfort for their own sake.
And it'll hurt. It's gonna hurt if they're being honest with you. If they're telling you something up front, it's God. It's a gift from God to have somebody who's telling you, "Hey,
this now."
Yeah, before it gets even deeper. So it might be a nick right now that He's giving you, but it's preventing you from getting a gash.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, it's a nick. It's like, a little paper cut. But it's preventing you from going any deeper to hurting yourself to getting a gash. Maybe it's something that you're struggling with. Maybe there's something that they're seeing in your character, or how you speak, or how you, I don't know, whatever it is that they're being honest and open to you about. Just hold on to that and cultivate that and be receptible. Accountability is the other one, and that's in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 11. You got that? I got it if you don't.
No, 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Encourage one another and build each other up.
Okay.
Encouragement.
Oh yeah, that's for encouragement. So encouragement is, well, I guess honesty and accountability go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Honesty, accountability.
Iron sharpens iron.
Okay, there you go.
Iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. That's one of my favorite Bible verses for my Texas friends. I love them dearly. I don't see them as often as I would like, but when life has been lifing and those stages have been hard, loss of family members, sickness, financial situations, those hard moments, they have been not only a shield, but they've also been iron to be like, come on, let's keep it moving. Yeah,
and there's biblical examples of this. You can find biblical examples of Paul and Barnabas. What you got? I can't read it.
Well, thank you, Arlette. Arlette is saying how she really appreciated the time that we were able to hang out. Prior to the babies arriving, and life changes a little bit during those stages, gets a little bit more busy, a little bit more hectic. Yeah. But that they're always praying for us and keeping us in prayer. We love you all as well. And then Benny put, we formed the NTDs Alliance. That's an insider, and it's not today level. But yeah.
So there is loyalty, honesty, accountability,
encouragement,
and encouragement. Going back to accountability,
lots of love.
Oh yeah, love I think is a big one in there. That we don't have in here, but it is love is. I think love encases all of this.
Yeah.
Essentially, you have to, love somebody to be loyal to, love somebody to be honest, love somebody to hold them accountable, and love them and encourage them. And this goes back to, kind of the whole discouragement thing. Like if you're going to somebody constantly and just nagging and being, complaining, and all they do is just add to your complaint and add to your, they don't make the load lighter, they make it heavier. I think we should kind of think about what this relationship is about, and maybe limit what you share with them, and again, everybody has their comments and their opinions. Of course, everybody's entitled to them, but essentially, I think what is ultimately important in encouragement is, like our brother Hector was saying, they guide us into getting closer to a more godly character. That's ultimately what we want from our friendships.
Yeah, make sure that the friendships that we are holding on to are bringing us closer to Christ.
Closer to Christ. All right, guys. Man, you guys have been commenting. You guys have been leaving us your comments, your love. Thank you so much
for supporting, being with us.
Yeah,
keep me in prayer, please.
Yes, keep her in prayer as she.
I'm still on the meds
to recuperate.
That's why I haven't laughed as much.
She continues to recuperate. Shout out to everybody who left a comment. Those who are going to watch this later on, I hope
share, please.
Yeah, help support. Spread this word. Share it out. This is
if this has been a blessing, please share.
Oh yeah, I know definitely it's a blessing for my life. It definitely gets this conversation.
If there are any topics that y'all think we should be able to bring out here, that you think that I will be okay with not saying my random things, please let us know.
Yeah, send
I say things,
direct
people.
Message, text message. I'm thinking about putting that on a t-shirt. I say things. What do you guys think, guys? Is that a good idea? I say things, As you can see, my camera's going in and out, so I need to get a new camera, so maybe that's going to help support that. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
God bless you.
I appreciate you guys. You'll be seeing clips here and there. So yeah, until next time, guys, God bless. All right, take care. God bless.